Actually, I think you've got a tremendous gathering to this evening, and it worked very well for me. I started over in this corner over here with employment. There's very, very much concern with respect to the youth. I think that's one of the areas that I've got as one of my mandates is making sure that we can retain youth in our community. There's actually one gentleman there who thought he'd be okay for the youth to leave the city, but I think we've got a real investment in the youth of our community, and I would like to make sure that we, as candidates, can make sure that we can keep our youth in this community. Today, I understand that Sir Sandra Fleming has a record number of students there, and I'd like to make sure that that record number can sort of add to this well-being of our community. Somehow we're going to keep them here. We've got to do that by bringing more employment in here. Today, we talked a little bit about the food security. Another thing, we talked about everything from best before dates to the most unfortunate people. What are they going to do, and how are we going to feed those groups? We talked about our farm family.
Time's up. Time's up.
It was a horn this morning. I know you got
cut off there. In the food security side, we have learned that education is a major part of what needs to happen in the city of Peterborough, and that's following through both from the employment standpoint and from the food security end of it. I'm Darryl Bennett, and I want to take a moment to just thank everybody that is here tonight for taking their time to show an interest in the democratic process. This is wonderful to have so many people out. It's wonderful to have so many people showing a keen interest in things that are of importance to the city. What did we learn? We learned that there's lots more we can do. From an employment standpoint, we need to be focused on job creation. We need to work with all of our efforts, all of our concentrated efforts to provide the best format for employment that we possibly can in the city of Peterborough. Jumping away from that on the food security, we've learned that there are opportunities that we're missing. We've got too many people that are relying on food services in the city of Peterborough, and it has to be cut back to a more manageable level. Employment, job creation is all the driver that will assist most of the social programs that are in deficit now, and we have to work at it.
Here we get more power than the mayor. That wasn't a slight.
You gotta get started.
Sorry to say, I stood up. Thanks for that. Anyway, I want to touch on housing security because, first of all, we have to ignore NIMBYism. Because where there's NIMBYism, we cannot do our job. And we talk about affordable housing. Well, there's very little affordable housing in the city of Peterborough, even though we go under that guise. We need geared to income housing. And as many of you folks know, we've had people on a waiting list 12 to 15 years, which is absolutely unforgivable. One of the things too at a municipal level is that we have to not shy away when someone says we can't do anything about that because that's provincial or federal responsibility. Municipal government is the most accessible level of government that there is, and if we can't be a force to be reckoned with for our electorate and for the people who need us most.
One of the things that came up in the groups I was involved in was the impact of all of these social issues on students. Secondary school students, elementary school students are all affected by, in many cases, affordable housing, having access to the proper food sources, and other issues like employment, transportation, all of these things at the same time. I'm particularly interested as an educator and someone who's interested in education in general to put forward the idea that the school system should not be separate from the municipal system. The school system is part of municipal politics. And one of the things that has bothered me so far in this election is that there's a lack of opportunity for our trustees to get up and debate, period. What happens, it seems, is that because of the mayoralty races and so many councillors running, trustees in the city of Peterborough often don't get the opportunity to stand here in front of many people. So I'm really thankful for that opportunity today. Communication, education, both of those issues are important as far as the school system is concerned. It's also important as far as the social issues are concerned, because if you don't know about the problem, you can't deal with it. Thank you.
Tonight focused mainly on city issues. There are similar situations that are in all of the townships surrounding this area as well. I sat in on employment, and we have one of the highest unemployment rates across the country right now, and a lot of that is because of the loss of our manufacturing base that has exodus from our country because of the free trade agreement. And so we need to start to rebuild that, the policies that talk about local procurement, both here within our own community and across our country. And we need to bring that philosophy back into how we do business. We need to look at infrastructure build and continue on that, and considering the economic times that we're currently facing. Without good manufacturing-based jobs, we cannot survive on the service sector, retail, low-wage income.
Time's up.
Oh, didn't get to talk about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I sat with the food security and the housing groups tonight. And you know, if anybody thinks of the power of one individual to make a change is not a whole lot, then they really need to be in this room. We talked about the issues and the ideas, and we also cast back over what has been accomplished in the last few years. When I started on council, there was no food bank system on a municipal level. Now there is. We built almost 500 units of affordable housing. But despite all those efforts, the problem is still there. And the opportunity to hear still the enthusiasm and the interest and the ideas to keep attacking the problems of hunger and poverty. It was a privilege to be here. I've got to build some things to go away and work on, and I hope everybody else does too. Thank you.
I think the theme right from when I started is to bring better paying jobs with benefits to Peterborough. And people said, well, how are you going to do that? Everybody says that. Well, I think it takes right from the start. The mayor-elect getting a meeting with the MP and the MPP and saying, look, what can we do to make this the destination spot for industries to come to Peterborough? And out of that, we will bring the players to the table to ensure that that happens. What did I learn tonight sitting at the table, and I was at the income security and the housing, is that there's a lot of people with a lot of information sitting in this room that can certainly solve these problems. We're living in silos and we're not talking to each other. There has to be people getting down and talking about the issues that we have, and I think there's people in this room that can make that happen. Certainly the information we heard tonight, there's information is not getting out to the people, and that has to stop. That the information that we have and the information that we're privy to has to get out to the public so that we can solve the problems that we have here to make Peterborough the best city in Canada there is to live for my generation, for my kids, and my grandchildren. Thank you very much.
We've got people down at Sherbrooke Street, and they're lined up right around the corner, 50, 60, 70, 80 people every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Have you been there? Well, take a look, go on down there, okay? That's where it's at. That's the real world we're talking about. And I thank each and every one of you that have helped out. Church organizations, breakfast clubs, it's all working, but we don't want to have it end like that. We need job creation. We need to take this thing in hand. We need good paying jobs in this area. I talked to Dean Delmas the other day about job retraining programs, making maybe every third high school a trade school where they get the skill sets to go out and get jobs. A lot of Trent students are laying around in rooms down there because they don't have any jobs in this area. And another thing is, we talked about the minimum wage, $10.25 an hour, $14 an hour it takes to have a one-bedroom apartment. People are living in rooms. And with that, it has to be stopped.